How do we give better feedback? We don't tell them how good they are on assertiveness, for example, but we do tell them the impact that they're having on you, the impact they're having on others. See, that day, Irendra, when you told Dhanul what to do, Dhanul later called me and said he couldn't understand really what you had said. Now, I'm not saying that the way you said was unclear. I'm not saying your communication skills are lacking. I'm telling you the impact of what you said to Dhanul, the impact was he hadn't understood. Now, why is that Sanjeev? I think I can communicate. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, Irendra, it seems like there is a little concern here that what you said yesterday to Dhanul didn't understand. Now that is feedback. That's fine. I'm telling him the impact of something he did. I'm not saying you are like this. I think that is the key, right? It's not you are this. You are this. So let's stop saying the you are this, you are this, you are this. But let's more focus on the impact that people are having and then ask them, what do you think you could do to help Dhanul understand more? Are you understanding the difference? So the what question? What do you think you could do to help Dhanul understand more? Then he might say, maybe I should talk slower. Maybe I'm talking too fast. I'm not telling him that, he's saying, which is where the learning occurs. Then I go to my next question, and what else do you think you could do? Maybe I should use smaller words. Maybe the words I'm using, are too big, too abstract. Now he's giving the ideas, right? And I say, now if you use smaller words, what do you think would happen with Dhanul? Maybe he might understand more. Okay? How do you think we can try this out? Or maybe I'll go and speak to him now and ask him something. And let's see. Alright? Do you think any of the conversation we had so far puts Irendra on the defensive? No, right? I'm not accusing him of anything. But I think we are on the road to solving the problem. Are we understanding? So not how good they are, but the impact they are having. It's fine, it's absolutely fine, and we should do this to share your own feelings, reactions, and results. Instead of saying, your presentation was really boring, Rohan, which then he's telling him, Rohan, your presentation was boring to everyone. You could say, Rohan, your presentation was boring to me. You understand the difference? I am sharing how you impacted me. I'm not saying you are a boring presenter. I'm saying your presentation was boring to me. Share your own feelings, right? You spoke for a long time at the sales meeting, and I felt you were trying to persuade your sales team to achieve the new target. But I must tell you, Sanjeev, I was seated in that meeting, and if I was thinking if I was one of the sales people, you didn't really persuade me. I wasn't persuaded. So then I asked, why? What happened? Why weren't you persuaded? What could I do to persuade you? See, none of the things I'm saying are attacking, right? So if you're not attacking, you don't have to defend. It's saying, this is how I felt. Because the other person can't argue with how I felt. How I felt is how I felt. How you feel is up to you. Yeah, like I said, Chanal, you should have been really excited at the program. Because I was. Chanal, no, but I wasn't. Then I had to ask him, why? What could I have done to make it more exciting to you? But I can't argue with this. Chanal, come on, you should have been excited. I was excited, you should be excited. What's wrong with you? I can't do that. Do you all understand? These are two things that we do a lot, which we should stop doing. We should not tell them how we think they should perform. We should not tell them how we think they should improve. Tough one. Now, this is not to say we don't give them targets. No. Right? Your target is 20 million for the month. You have to achieve this 20 million. That's what we have agreed. But I'm not going to tell you, you have to be more disciplined to achieve it. You have to be more punctual to achieve it. You have to be more committed to achieve it. That's not what I'm going to do. Yeah? But we are going to have a discussion and see, what do you think you can do to achieve this? Because again, otherwise we are going into abstract concepts saying, you are not punctual, you are not disciplined, you are not disciplined enough. So, there was a research done, right? Always interested when it's research findings, right? Research done by, again, is Marcus Buckingham. Yeah? So they got two groups of people, and one group of people, group one, what was discussed with them was the dreams that they have and how they can set about achieving these dreams. So they are now thinking bigger. And what they found was, in that group one, what was activated was their parasympathetic nervous system, PNS. So your parasympathetic nervous system is what calms you down, brings cortisol down. Yeah, it's the recovery part of the nervous system, right? So we get stressed out, then we recover. So PNS is good because that calms us down. It opens up a lot of ways of learning and all of that, right? So with the parasympathetic nervous system opening, what were the feelings and functions the group one had? Highly motivated, strong emotions. Their well-being increased, their immunity increases. What happened? It stimulates something called neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is the birth of new nerve cells, neurons. By the way, that's another learning there. Conventional thinking says, or learning says, that as we grow older, our brain cells die, and we don't get new brain cells. The first part is true, as we grow older, new brain cells die, but if you do certain things, you can still continue neurogenesis. And that's good news, because if neurogenesis is happening, less chances of Alzheimer's happening. Which is good news for all of us, right? So how do you stimulate neurogenesis? One is, the more you learn, the more you read, the more you're applying what you're learning and reading, your brain says, let me grow some more because this person is trying to do new things. So let's grow. So for example, if you have never played a musical instrument, learn one. If you have never gone for ballroom dancing, start. Yeah. And exercise. Exercise stimulates neurogenesis because it grows something called BDNF. It's a protein that is needed for new brain cells to grow. And evokes cognitive, perceptual and emotional openness. Now, if you want someone to improve, isn't it better if they are strong, motivated, if they have strong positive emotions, if they are feeling good, if they are feeling rested, if they are feeling emotionally open to do anything. Group 2. What was this? This was a group of students. So group 2 was brought and asked them, okay, what did you do for homework? How many answers wrong? How are you going to correct this? You should study more. And what happened with them was, their sympathetic nervous system got activated, which is their stress level went up. So sympathetic is activated when the lion is chasing. Sympathetic went up. They were stressed, strong negative emotions, immunity dropped. Right? They cannot access existing neural networks, which means they cannot learn. So when someone is in a state of stress, no matter how much you are telling them, and how much you are telling them do things differently, learn this new thing, they can't learn. Because the mind is closed. Closed in not by their choice. Maybe they want to learn, but because stress levels are high, you can't learn. Let me prove that point to you, right? So, how many of you have experienced going for an exam, being quite worried whether you have studied enough? So you're stressed out, right? How many of you experienced, you go now, sit at the exam hall, you get the paper, you look at the paper and you realize, my gosh, I knew the answer to this question yesterday, but for the life of me, I cannot remember it now. Now what happens after the exam is over? You finish, you never got the answer for that because you couldn't remember. You go to the garden, you talk to your friends, you have a cup of tea. Do you remember the answer now? Yes. That is because of that. So when stress increases, cortisol levels increase. I'm telling you the neurological and biological thing here, right? Cortisol increases. As soon as cortisol increases, there's a part of your brain called the hippocampus. Hippocampus is responsible for memory retention and memory retrieval. So when you are trying to learn, if stress is high, you can't put what you are learning into the hippocampus, which means you can't store it. Whatever you have learned, if you are trying to get it out now to write the answer, or because your boss is asking you what that figure was or whatever, if at that point you are stressed out, you know it's there, but you can't remember it, because again hippocampus is not working. Because as soon as cortisol goes up, hippocampus goes away. Is that making sense? That is why you didn't remember the answer at the exam. and remember it after. If you want to help someone improve and learn, when you are trying to help that person, they should not be stressed out. I think that's the bottom line. That's the learning. If you want to help someone improve and learn, at the time you are trying to talk to them, you are trying to help them, you are trying to show them how to learn, if their stress levels are high, if they are anxious, if they are worried, they cannot learn, even if they want to. And as underlying that research is another research by Richard Boyasis, focusing people on their shortcomings or gaps does not enable learning but impairs it. So, that is all about new ways of thinking about giving feedback or talking to someone or trying to help your team. Yeah, what's our main role as a leader? Help my team member to succeed. In order to do that, we have to talk to them, obviously, right? If when I talk to my team, it makes matters worse, I should probably jump in the well or something, right? Because, yeah, I'm not helping. So, let's learn how to do that so that we can do it in a way that actually helps.